Hey there, today I'm going to show you how to make a simple one-tray dish the whole family will love. Mediterranean chicken and root vegetables. Then I'm going to show you how to plate it so it looks as amazing as it tastes. I absolutely love Mediterranean cuisine. It really allows me to cook the foods that are whole and closest to nature. And using a combination of olive oil, fresh and dry herbs, this dish has a fresh, light, aromatic flavor. I'm pretty sure you'll love this simple one-pan dish too, so let's get started. Here, certified nutritionist. Like most of us, my life is always really busy, and with sheet pan recipes, it makes my life so much easier. And it frees up my time so I spend less time in the kitchen and more time with the family and friends, because that's what it's all about, right? You'll be pretty excited to see how simple this really is. Time to get cooking. So the first thing you want to do is preheat your oven to 425. While that's preheating, you're going to choose the root vegetables that you want. Now, I've chosen a lot of different root vegetables because they're in season. And I took the liberty to chop them up ahead of time because who wants to see me chopping, right? So what I've chosen is some heirloom carrots. If you've ever seen heirloom carrots, they're all different colors. Look how beautiful they are inside. And they're around this time of year. That's the only time of year you can get it, which is around the end of October. So I have a fennel bulb in here. I've got red and white little potatoes, and I choose the little ones because you just have to cut them in half and that's it. You don't have to worry about the big ones because the skin on is what makes all the color, right? Then we've got some white onion. We've got some red onion. Beautiful, because the red onion has a really good bite to it and adds so much more flavor to it. And then we have the carrots and things like that. So the idea is to make the dish really sing for the colors of the season, and that's why I like to do this particular sheet pan this time of year, because it's super simple. Also, what you want to do is the protein. Now, I've used 2 chicken breasts that I've pre-marinated in a herb marinade, only because I love to marinate the chicken ahead of time. You don't have to do that. I've chosen the chicken breast with the bone in, and the reason for that is the bone in gives it all the flavor, all the juice, and the skin is on. Don't be getting about the skin, okay, because it makes it a really good meal, and it adds all the flavor to the rest of the vegetables. Then we're going to have some fresh herbs. We've got some seasoning and spicing here, and we got some olive oil, of course. Now, the idea when we're cutting up the vegetables is make sure they're all cut uniform. The idea is the sheet pan, you want them all to cook the same. You want the protein to cook the same as well as the vegetables. So you don't want one cooking ahead of time. So try and keep them as uniform as you can. It makes the cook a lot better. So the simplest way to do this is to get all the vegetables in one bag. And you can put the protein in a separate bag. But the whole idea is you're going to add the olive oil and spices first. Now, it's about 1/4 cup of olive oil, and you're just going to pour it into the Ziploc bag. Okay, about 1/4 cup. You want enough to coat the vegetables. Then you're going to take the ground ginger, the ground garlic, about 1 teaspoon of each. There's 1 teaspoon of salt and pepper. And then you've got the dry thyme. And just like that. Then you're going to take all of these yummy vegetables and you're going to put them in the bag. Because the idea is you want to coat them all. I'll just put them in here and then pour them in once I get a chance to get some of these out of the bag. And put them all in one bag. I'll show you a little trick with the Ziploc so you get them coated all at the same time. I mean, look at those colors. Aren't they gorgeous? See all of those pretty colors in there? So once it's in the bag, just Ziploc it, but don't take the air out. The important thing is don't take the air out, because not having the air in is what's going to make it shake up so much better. Make sure it's sealed, because it'll be an awful mess if you don't. So see how there's no air in there? And now you're just going to shake it. You see where all the spice on? You want to make sure you get them all coated. You want to make sure that it's all coated in there, and that's why you use the Ziploc bag, because you can see stuff and your hands don't get messy, and guess what? No dishes to wash. Just throw out the Ziploc bag. But see how they're getting all incorporated in there? I like to make sure it's all mixed up because you don't want to waste any of those spices. Okay, now you want to have a sheet pan because that's what the recipe is all about, a sheet pan. And you want to put parchment paper. I don't use foil for the very reason that foil actually will heat up the marinated oil too quickly and it will burn. So parchment paper is really good. Again, easy cleanup. So now you're going to take your bag and you're going to dump all that. Just watch how pretty this looks. How gorgeous is that? So make sure you spread it around because the idea of the sheet pan is you don't want anything overlapping because then it will just steam and not roast. Look how gorgeous those colors are. Like, oh my gosh. This is why it's such a good time this time of year to do the root vegetables. The protein I chose was a bone-in chicken breast with skin on. This is a serving for 2. In the recipe, you can have 6. The other part, if you don't really can't find a bone-in chicken breast, which is really hard to find, just make sure that you can use the thighs. So if you like a little bit more dark meat, bone in with the thighs, and that dark meat and the skin adds the same kind of flavor. I just prefer the chicken breast. So you want to make room for the chicken breast. So slide everything over. Tuck them in there, make sure they're all surrounded by those gorgeous vegetables. This looks almost too pretty to eat. Okay, so the herbs are fresh. So you want to place them next to the chicken. This is rosemary, and that's thyme, so in case you don't buy fresh herbs. Tuck them in close to the chicken. You can put them on top if you like, because when they're cooked, they automatically dissolve. So it makes it really nice. And the flavors are so good that way. Last little trick I want to do while my hands are messy is the idea with skin on the chicken. You want to make sure that the olive oil, you actually rub the skin with olive oil because that's what crisps up the skin. And a crispy skin on a chicken is much better. And this is why I use the skin on bone in, because otherwise if you just use chicken breast, it will dry out too quickly. So I'm just going to take this now and put it in a 425-degree oven for about 50 to 60 minutes. The idea is the chicken breast, the juices should run clear and the vegetables should be cooked. And they cook all together about 50 or 60 minutes. So this is after 50 minutes. I checked the chicken, it's cooked. Oh my gosh, like look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. So all the vegetables cooked together, the chicken, everything's good. And now we're gonna plate it. So these chicken breasts are large, so we're gonna cut them down and you can have half a chicken breast for a proper serving of about 15 ounces of protein. So I'm just gonna cut these in pieces. So again, about half a chicken breast per person is perfect because these guys are big. And look how beautiful and tender that is on the inside. So nice. And you should smell this. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, so now we're just going to take some of those lovely vegetables. And we're going to give a pretty good mixture of the potatoes and the carrots because you don't want your guests to miss any of this delicious food. There's about a cup of vegetables and about a cup or cup and a half of vegetables and potatoes is a perfect portion for anybody. I mean, who wouldn't want to eat that, right? So get some onions in there. Make sure we have everything. So that's about a proper portion for any adult. You always have extra if they want to, but from a nutritional standpoint, this is a perfectly balanced meal. So we get to the good part where we get to taste it. Let's dive in there. And that's why you keep the skin on. See how nice it looks at the skin? I'm going to try and get a bite of everything. Get some onions in there. I cannot imagine the variance of flavor, especially the fennel in there. So the spices, the root vegetables, all the earthy flavors. It's just warm and so comfortable, and all those vegetables give off all that flavor. as well as the chicken. I gotta dive in again because this is fabulous. So I'm Trish Carparata, and if you love this simple and healthy recipe, subscribe and don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. The links to find the full recipe with instructions will all be in the description box below. See you all next time.